This one is about poop. When I went to the doctor for a general checkup and ended up being diagnosed of hypothyroidism, which we've talked about on this podcast, they also gave me a long list of referrals for different things. One of them was going to require me to poop in a container and ship it. On this episode, I tell you all my frustrations about how that went, how I had to do it over and over again and had to ship it multiple times and why that was. It's, let me tell you what, a shit show. Follow me on social media at Babbling Brook. The podcast has a Facebook group and an Instagram account at Babbling Brook Podcast. YouTube and my blog are also Babalwa Brook. And the show has a Patreon if you'd like to support us in any way. Thank you for being here and happy Sunday. Hey everybody, it's your girl Babala Brook. Can I just vent? It's what is today's date? March 27th, 2023. The time right now is 2010. Now here is the going. I don't know if I said anything to you about this, but I know that I've done a YouTube video. Of course, I haven't posted any of my podcast episodes up yet, ever. And I've just been cranking them. And I feel like that phrase is incomplete, like cranking them up or whatever. And of course, I have hundreds of YouTube videos waiting to be posted as well. I guess really the joy for me comes in the recording, not really in putting the things up. Now, this is the story. I'm so frustrated. Anyway, I feel better now. I had to poop in a container and mail it. No, this is not an OnlyFans story. I wish. Nobody's paying me for this. Again, I wish. The story is the doctor recommended that I have colon cancer test or screening. And one of the ways that can be done, apparently, I don't believe it, but whatever. I'm not even into the thing that I'm doing. No, why would you be into pooping in a cup? Come on. When you're doing something, even if you don't really want to do it, you're not motivated, but you believe that it's for your own good. I don't believe this whole thing is for my own good at all. So the fact that it's going shitty, pardon the pun, because actually this is about shitting, it's going shitty and I'm not even really into it. I feel like this is a money grab by the health companies grabbing money from health insurances and, using the people as pawns. That's what I believe. I'm not even into what do they call them? Conspiracy theories. I always forget what conspiracy theories are. Now, in order for this colon cancer thing to be done, they use the rectum excretion method, which means you're going to poop a sample of your feces, stool. Sorry for these words. Stool. They want a sample of your stool, which I did, and you put it in a container. You don't grab it by hand and put it in a container. You, defecate. Sorry. You have your bowel movement into the container, and check out my YouTube. Hopefully by the time you hear this, I'll already have done the YouTube video. Sorry. Then you seal the container up good. I followed all the instructions, partly because I had to and I wanted to do it right the first time, and because I was going to do a YouTube video on it. So I was like, some people will not read the instruction books. They're going to Google this. And if they find my YouTube video, I just want them to understand clearly how it goes, what the steps are. So I wanted to, so I followed the instructions right for that purpose. I sealed everything, put it into a box, into that box that they sent me. I had already scheduled for UPS to pick up the package overnight. I mean, I tell you what, I'm not somebody who embarrasses easily. I hardly ever get embarrassed. But handing a box of my own poop to somebody, it's one of the lowest things I've done. Just the feeling that you get knowing that what you put in there and what you're handing over to this person. To think that there are people out there who poop on each other for fun. And, people who fart in jars and get paid for those things. It's wild. Maybe if I got paid for this kind of stuff, it would numb myself out. But, you live, you learn. The guy came. I don't use UPS a lot. I have an online store, The Lovely Brook, on eBay and Facebook, mainly eBay. And I mainly use USPS. So I'm good with the guys. They know me. They come to my house, blah, blah, blah. I go to the post office. I'm good with the people there as well. But also I'm just lucky that the guys I deal with are just good people. I don't think that, I'm particularly lucky because I'm amazing, which I am, and I am. But the UPS guys go next door a lot. So I see them often, but they don't come. They're not coming to me. They're going next door. So when they came the first time, I more or less knew what time to expect them at because I'm familiar with their schedule. Now, this is why we're here today. My poop gets to Wisconsin, where the lab is, where I had mailed my sample. Next thing I know, and let me tell you, if you ever deal with these folks, I'm not going to name their name, but they're in Wisconsin and they do the poop, so if you can connect the dots. They will spam you. They will send you text after text after. That's not necessary. Here's a reminder. Here's a whatever. And if you're interested in this, how about this? They will spam your ass. No pun intended. I had to block their number. And then they'll send you another thing from like an alternate number. Block that number too. And then they'll try to call you. My phone doesn't take calls if you're not recorded, if you're not saved. So they'll try that. And it'll go to voicemail. Hi, Miss Broken, blah, 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 block. And I was like, you sent me the sample before you talked to me. They didn't talk to me. I went to the doctor contacted them. Then they sent me the sample, the kit, without talking to me. They got information from my health insurance and my doctor. They're not calling me to confirm, is this the right address? No, they're calling me to spam me. So why am I even talking to these people? You would think that these people would contact me to say, hey, is this the right address? Is this the right this? Can we call you on this number to find out if, if the driver, blah, 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 has a problem? No, that's not what this is about. This is strictly spermatozoa. Just kidding. They get my thing, and I don't hear from them. I don't expect to hear from them because they're blocked. I happen to go to the doctor for a follow-up for something else. When I get there, I get a stack of results for my blood tests. I happen to go over these results, and I notice one of the papers is a reject note. They rejected my poop. I got a reject from these folks, but like via my doctor. So they sent the results to the doctor because, they're not going to talk to me about this. They're just going to spam me. Like I'm not good enough for them to say, hey, here's a courtesy text or whatever, which I guess they couldn't because they're blocked. But I don't think that they would have tried regardless. The doctor doesn't even say, hey, by the way, because I asked, oh, wow, this is a thick stack of paperwork. What was all this? And she said, it's your results for the whatever. the blood. But like, surprise, there's another result in there. Why is nobody communicating with me? So likely I went through the thing and I was like, oh, they rejected the stool sample. Man, I have to go through that process again. Fudge. I was not happy about that at all. They sent it. They called me actually. Oh, Miss Brooke. And they were great on the phone. You better be great on the phone. Like, they said it'll be there in 3 days. It was here in 5, which is neither here nor there. Luckily, I was home when they dropped it off. I'm home a lot, but I'm not home all the time. Then they want the sample to be shipped over to their place overnight, right? And therefore, they don't want you to do like Friday, just in case, or like Saturday, because they don't want it to end up being stuck somewhere on a Sunday for whatever reason. I don't think it does get stuck anywhere because having been a truck driver for a while myself, I know how these things work. Usually with shipping, you don't want to necessarily ship on Sunday. I don't know who's picking up on Sunday. As long as your thing leaves the house, usually, don't quote me on this, but as long as your thing leaves the house before Sunday, you're good as gold because the machine never stops. The machine never stops. And a lot of these companies work with each other, or at least a lot of them work with USPS. I've delivered for USPS, and we did a lot of all these companies that like UPS or whoever, all these companies that work independently and compete with USPS, they use USPS. But whatever. Now, they use like USPS trucks and services to speed up their service competing against USPS. Like Amazon, oh my God, Amazon will be there in 24 hours. So use Amazon if you want your 2-day whatever. Don't use USPS. But like Amazon hires USPS drivers to deliver your packages like in 2 days. So it'll show up at your house delivered by USPS driver. But that's neither here nor there. It's just interesting politics, random stuff. The guy is supposed to come and pick up. What I was saying was they want it over 24 hours. Like, you're not supposed to, for example, if you're somebody, I don't know, who poops at night, I guess. And now it's like, oh, I've got this poop sitting here in a container in my house. Rather just like poop and make sure it goes the same day and it's not like a weekend after that. I say all this because I tried everything. And now, if you think I'm not going to put a glove in my hand and grab some of this poop in case it looks bigger than it should be, because apparently there's a maximum of a certain amount of grams. Like, I'm not going to put it on my scale, my kitchen scale. Not that I'm putting the actual poop, but like, I was just like, I'm not going through this whole thing again. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I've dealt with poop. I've handled other people's poop as a caregiver for years. So this is nothing new. Like, I was willing to do anything. Anyway, I followed the procedure again. I didn't even need to read it because I literally just did it a couple of weeks ago. And now I'm expecting the freaking guy to come, and spoiler alert, he doesn't show up. I'm at my house all day, working most of the day with the door open, partly because I'm expecting the guy. Usually I can just see the guys because I have my windows open for direct, like, daylight for my photos for the stuff that I'm selling online. Dololo. I'm thinking maybe it's because it's Monday. I know the USPS guy shows up late on Mondays. So I'm like, maybe that's why, maybe that's their deal. I've just never seen them late. But, hey, nope. So then around 5 or so, I'm thinking, 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, I'm winding down now. I'm going to go somewhere and work out. which is not something I do often. But I'm not going to be easily accessible or be able to see this guy because I'll be focusing on that. So let me call UPS. Like, who wants to call anybody? So I pick up the freaking phone. I call UPS. Your call is important to us. Blah, 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 bullshit. Okay, so now enter this number. Are you this and that? Yes. No. Click whatever to say yes. And number whatever to whatever. Do you want to this and that and that? I'm like, I want to speak to an agent. I understand that you want to speak to somebody. But first, can you give me this? I'm like, fuck. So I gave them the information, the machine, and I'm talking to a machine. I'm standing there with my freezing cold feet because hypothyroidism. And I'm just like, fuck. Ultimately, I go through to somebody and they go, good evening. Thank you for calling UPS. My name is blah, blah, blah. You can never make up their names. First of all, their names sound made up. You're speaking to so-and-so. Hi, and who am I speaking to? So, obviously, there's no time for you to say, hi, how are you doing today? They're straight to the point, which is, I like it like that. So I give them the information. What is the tracking number? What is this? All right, ma'am, your driver should be there at 7 o'clock. I'm thinking, wow, maybe they have a GPS on this guy. I wouldn't be surprised because I know that as a truck driver, I've seen that. That's a thing. So I'm like, oh, thank you. I'm thinking, wow, so professional. Gotta love this country. Put the phone down and go next door and I work out. And I'm done before 7, like 6:45. I keep checking, because night's starting to give me anxiety. Not really anxiety, like serious. I'm just like using it loosely. It's starting to make me panic, like, because I want to go to bed and hang out, watch TV show and whatever, and not have to think about, is the guy coming? Is he going to be able to see the packages in my front porch? Is a random going to see the package in my front porch and grab it? I mean, that would be a really shitty thing for them to do. Now, guy doesn't show up at all. It's now after 7. I call UPS again. Not super stressed out because I thought I'm just going to follow the same procedure and this time it'll be fast to talk to somebody. Wrong. Go through a machine. The machine will not let me talk to somebody. I'm thinking, is it after hours or what? The machine's like, give me this information. What about this? What about that? I have a confirmation number for my pickup scheduling request, whatever. But I didn't want to go outside to get the tracking number. The machine wants a tracking number. So I'm like, I want to speak to somebody. They don't care. They want a tracking number. Even if you want to speak to somebody, they're going to need your tracking number. The machine tells me. I'm like, fuck it. So I go and stand outside in my nightgown. It's cold. I'm cold. I don't know if it's really cold or it's me. And I'm standing there giving this machine the tracking number. I want to take a photo, but I feel like it's going to be hard still to read it. Let me just read it off of the box. The machine puts me through to somebody ultimately. Oh, the machine's like, all right, this package has not been picked up yet. No kidding. So, excuse me, is there anything else that I can help you with? Oh, bitch, remember you said, give me all this information so that I can put you through to somebody. So what do you mean, is there anything else? I want to talk to fucking somebody. And they're like, okay, hold on. They put me through to somebody. Hi, welcome to UPS. Thank you for calling. You're speaking to blah, 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 blah. Non-intelligible, whatever that word is. Who am I speaking to? I tell them my name and they can never make up my name. What is it? Sorry, can you say your name again? Whenever I call these customer centers, I'm old, so I've worked several jobs. I've worked like call center for like 7 years or so in Africa. And you know the kind of call center that you're calling. For example, if you're calling your health insurance, for example, right? And they keep asking you, what's your name? You know that perhaps if you give them your member ID, that'll take them to you. Some places, I notice in the US, they use a date of birth a lot for these health situations, which is interesting, but maybe it helps them narrow it down. Maybe if you give them a date of birth and then tell them your name, they'll look under April 10th. Hopefully not a lot of people are born around that time. I feel like a lot of people are born in April because, I don't know, for whatever reason. So then they can be like, even if they can't really make out your name, but if you tell them it's Baba Labruk, I don't know how many people will have a name that resembles that, born on that same date of birth. Because then they can go in there and confirm other information. But what do I know, right? I'm just a girl pooping in a jar. They say, your name, please. Ma'am, did you say B-R-O or B-R? Is it B-R? I'm like, oh my God, this is the least important part of this whole thing. I have a also, by the way, the machine said I need a tracking number in order for me to put you through somebody because they need that. Why didn't the machine say to you, here is the information. They've already given it to you. Therefore, take it from here, right? So the machine took all this information, gave me a headache. For what? Now they want this information again as if I just call them directly. Meanwhile, I've been sitting on the freaking phone for 10 minutes, freezing my nipples off. All right. Now, I'm like, ma'am, can I just give you a tracking number, please? And they're like, okay, what's the tracking number? I give them the tracking number. So after 1Z, what did you say? 1Z is the first two things. They didn't hear anything else after that. Okay, what was the next thing after 1Z? I'm thinking, oh my God. And then, they put you on mute because they're going to talk about whatever the fuck they want to talk about. That's important. So now you're sitting there. The line is completely dead. You know that they put you on mute because they don't want you to hear what they're saying, which is fine. Like, I don't care. If you're not saying it to me, like, what do I care? But we're on this call now. Prioritize me. Don't prioritize that person. They can wait. So now you're like, hey, are you there? And they're like, so what was the next thing after 1Z? They blocked you off. Basically, talk to my hand. That's rude. Like, don't put me on mute. Like, are you kidding me? You're in a call center. It's one thing if I'm in my house and there's no music in the background and I put you on mute. You probably could still tell, but maybe not. But if you're in a rowdy call center and then you put me on mute, all of a sudden it's completely dead. I'm not a complete idiot. Then they ask for other information. Oh, they say, so is this, you want this picked up from Wisconsin? No, it's going to Wisconsin. And she's sitting there like completely confused. I can just imagine her face with a made up name. I'm thinking to myself, is it freaking kidding me talking about is this picked up? I'm like, if these people didn't show up in my house because they showed up in Wisconsin to pick up this thing, which, sidebar, one time I had to pick up, I don't know what I was supposed to drop off something. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what I was supposed to do. But the moral of this story is I was given paperwork and a load to take from a base of where I was working. I spent the night and waited to leave late enough that I make my appointment. Because, you don't want to leave 2 days early. You want to leave on schedule. So I picked up my load and I drove from Colorado to Kansas. I get there, it's hectic. I arrange, wait for my turn, everything. And they're like, yeah, this load was picked up from here and was taken to Colorado. The destination is Colorado. I said, I just came from Colorado. They're like, yeah, no. You need to take it back to Colorado. It was fun because it was a good trip, even though my truck ended up being broken down there and I ended up staying longer than planned. But it was a fun experience, and I was like, this is going to make for a good story. Especially the company that I worked for made a lot of mistakes, but I wasn't accustomed to the silliness. I used to hear a lot of stories, but my experiences weren't too bad. Even in that case, I still got paid and everything, but I was like, ha ha, not my mistake. Now, back to UPS. The lady is like, okay, so I gave her the tracking number. I gave her the confirmation schedule of the pickup. And she's like, what's your phone number? I'm like, for what? What's you gonna do with my phone number? Like, I already called you. We're already on a call. You don't need my phone number. Trust me. Where is the driver? Is the driver still coming or no? You would think that someone can just answer that question. I said, I called you guys an hour or two ago, and somebody said the driver would be here at 7. It's after 7 now. That call went very smoothly. Can you just tell me, ma'am, I need your phone number? I said, no, I'm not giving you my phone number. At this point, I'm like, first of all, my period is due any minute now. So everybody is frustrating to me, and I hate everybody. And I know that even if I were sober, I still would be frustrated with this. This is frustrating. I know that with my like sensible side of the brain. And she said, please hold. I said, wait, what am I holding for? I am putting you through to customer service. Are you telling me the whole time I was not talking to customer? Who the hell was I talking to the whole time? Puts me through. Somebody picks up. Hello, thank you for calling UPS. Who am I speaking to? I tell them my name. Lo and be freaking hold. They can't pick up my name. They don't know what I'm saying. Can you please repeat your name? Can you please repeat your name? Can you please repeat it? I said, can I give you a tracking number? Please. Is the driver still coming? It's almost 8 o'clock at this point. I would like to go to sleep now. I just want to know if this guy is still coming. Should I expect him or not? It's just for my own peace of mind. If you really think about it, it's not going to make a difference whether they tell me if he's coming or not. Or maybe, because I said to them, if you're able, anyway, so quickly, I said, they said, what's your phone number? This is now, I already told the person, I already refused to give them my phone number, and they put me through to quote unquote customer service. Now, customer service is asking for my phone number. After like being on the phone with them, spelling Z for Zulu, X for X-ray, R for Romeo, N for November, just like over and over again. Now we're at that same point, stuck, asking me. Actually, when they put me through to them, first, they asked me for the whole story. What is this about? Are you the one who's sending this? Just the basic things. The stuff that she was asking me, even the lady before her didn't ask me. It was the most basic stuff that I told the machine. So now we went all the way back 3 steps. I'm super frustrated. I said to her, tell me, somebody just transferred me to you after talking to them for 10 minutes. Did they not brief you what the phone was about? In the middle of me saying that, this bitch has the fucking gall to cut me and keep saying, yes, ma'am, what's your tracking? Ma'am, what's your, ma'am? What? Like, basically, bitch, shut up and give me what I want. So I said to her, excuse me, ma'am, I'm the one who made this phone. You know what? There's nothing, well, there are a lot of things that are annoying to me, actually. Nothing more annoying than me reaching out to you and you taking over. I reached out to you. So now I'm not going to have a chance to say what I wanted to say? Why? Because what I'm saying is not important to you? Now I got to listen to what you have to say? You should have called me. I wouldn't have picked up, but you should have tried. So she's just like, keeps cutting me off. Like, yes, ma'am. Like, yes. And then she realized the yes, cutting me off with the yes is not working. So she went on to, oh, I'm sorry about that, ma'am. Ma'am, what's your, ma'am, sorry about that. I said, excuse me, calm down and hear me out. Give me the courtesy to hear what I have to ask you. If I've been sitting on this phone for 30 minutes, the least you can do, and I've been waiting 12 hours for your guy who didn't show up for something so important, because remember I said it has to be overnighted. It's not going to be overnighted now. They didn't show up. Guess what's going to happen? I'm going to have to do the whole fucking thing again. Okay? For the 3rd time. So if you think this is frustrating, it's really frustrating and it's really embarrassing. I don't want to, I have a toilet that I'm paying way too much money in California for the sewer services. What I don't need is to be peeing in jars, as if I'm not paying all this money every other month to the Department of whatever the fuck. So please, at least hear me out. If I'm going to have to poop in a jar again because of you guys, you're going to have to at least hear me out. I didn't say any of this to these guys. They don't know what this package is. They probably think it's just full of shit. No, I'm not. The shit is waiting on the porch outside. I'm like, Hear me out. I was thinking, oh my gosh, they're probably going to hang up and then I'm going to have to go through. I don't know what's worse at this point. I don't know what's worse. No, I'm sorry, ma'am. I said, what are you sorry for? I just need you. I said, no, hear me out. She said, what is your question, ma'am? I said, good, thank you. So I asked what I wanted to ask, and she said, no, ma'am, that didn't happen. That's her answer. She's so dismissive. I tell you what, like, you're calling this customer service, like, put me through back to the machine. Like, at this point, I don't even know, I don't know what's worse. And I'm like, okay, what do you, and then I just wanted her to come back to earth and just treat a human being like a human being. I know I'm just another number, but I'm not, okay? And when somebody is so worked up because of how shitty your service is, the least you can do is to make them feel better by just not making them feel worse, okay? And we get to a point where she asks for my fucking phone number, and I refuse. And I said, don't need to give anybody my phone number. What do you need my phone number for? She said, in order for me to proceed from this screen, I have to take your phone number. These fucking companies just want to collect our phone numbers. And when you call UPS, the machine tells you, go to this website to find out what we're going to do with your contact information. Fuck you. I'm not going to fucking... If I am contacting a company via a website, and they say, now go to this phone number and go deal with us. When I've selected a method that I'm going to deal with you via, and it's over the email or the website. Don't refer me to another form. It's like if I'm taking a train, you tell me now go and take a bus, don't take the train. Like, are you kidding me? Or if vice versa. This is what these people are doing. Or go to the website and find out what we're going to do with your information. No! Tell me here on the phone. Why are you assuming that I have like Wi-Fi or internet when I'm not using the internet. I'm using a phone. Tell me on this method of communication what I need to know. Don't send me somewhere else because you know I'm not going to hang up the phone when I haven't even been helped yet. Not that I'm going to get helped. To go and check what you're going to do with my information. The best thing I can do is to not give you my fucking information. Take your tracking. You wanted a tracking number and the confirmation number? You made up these numbers. Use the numbers that you have made up. Don't ask me for my phone number. That has nothing to do with you. It's my phone number. You don't pay for this bill. I'm not going to be able to proceed from this screen, ma'am, without your phone number. Because they want to compile your phone numbers and sell them to people who are going to spam you back to back. So now you just call this company who failed to come here for something so important and so embarrassing for you. And it's going to affect you in more ways than one. And it's going to frustrate you for the next several weeks because it's such a process. Now I got to wait for this thing to be picked up whenever they pick it up, to go to Wisconsin, get rejected in Wisconsin. These people not to contact me, but to contact my doctor. And when I do finally go to the doctor after 6 weeks for something else, the doctor's going to sneak in a paper into my hand. And then if I happen to find that paper, like I got to go through all of that process. And you're telling me, oh, I won't be able to help you. I got to, like, why am I going through all of this? And in that process, handing over my phone number for you to sell it to somebody else. I'm just losing through and through. Where is my golden, my pot of gold at the end of this freaking rainbow? I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not going to be. I need the phone number. Dude. I put the fucking phone down. The call is over. I'm not giving this bitch my phone number. So the call is over. She's telling me she's not going to be able to help me. Like, what am I sitting on this phone for? So that she can say, thank you for calling. You have a good day further. Fuck you. So put the freaking phone down. And I'm really worked up. Thank you for calling UPS. To find out what we do with you, blah, blah, blah. This is now me calling for the umpteenth time. At the same time, as I have them on speaker. And they're like, if you want us to help you fast. You know how they do. When you call them, they tell you, go to our website if you want us to help you. If you go to the website, they say, if you want us to help you fast, go to the phone. I'm like, oh my God. It's like a clickbait. So I go to the website and they're like, sign up on a whatever. And everybody wants you to sign up on their app. Like, how many apps can your cell phone accommodate? Go to our app and use our app if you want to. I'm like, I'm not using nobody's fucking app. Let me just go to their website because I know that I have used their services to mail something to Africa. A whole another frustrating story where my package never made it after 3 months of waiting and paying about $100. It was not UPS's fault. UPS is who got the package there ultimately. But USPS fucked up. Long, frustrating story. Now, I'm calling them again. And at the same time, I go to their website and I log in because I am registered because of that case to Africa. Enter your tracking number, which I did. And they say this package has not been picked up yet. I know! That's why I'm here. I'm like, am I the first person in the history of mankind to ever contact these people about this kind of issue? Like, so then, oh my God, it's just unbelievable. I had such a nice day today and so productive. I did so many listings and I worked out and I bathed and I did all kinds of things. I cleaned my dishes and whatever. It was a decent day. Like, it was a great day with regards to my hypothyroidism and how much energy, like, I don't have on a regular basis. So I was just ending my day. I had my heater on for my cold freaking feet, and I was just going to hang out in bed and watch trash TV. I did not have this on my bingo card. It's bullshit. Long story short, the last phone call, I talk to a machine. Machine quickly puts me through. Somebody picks up, asks what my name is, and I say my name maybe once or twice, and then they confirm my name, which is unreal, and they sound like they're in their own home, and then they say, what's the tracking number? I give it to them. They say confirmation. I give it to them, and they say, okay, our drivers have a window from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. to pick up your package. It's already after 7 o'clock. And I thought, oh my God, that's why the first people told me the guy would be here at 7. They didn't know. They didn't check. They were just saying, they were being useless. They were just telling me because of the window from 7 to 7. I was like, wow. And I was impressed for this. So she said, yeah, it's outside the window, so they failed to pick it up today. And it looks like your package, I can see here that it does show on their schedule that they should have picked it up today. And they didn't. Your package is going to Wisconsin. I said, yeah. I was like, am I dreaming? Who is this angel? Because usually once you get, because at this point I'm operating from low vibrational standpoint. And I know it. So at that point, only low things can come. That's why you have to shift your vibration yourself if you want the things around you to change. You don't wait for them to change in order for you to feel better. You put yourself in a better feeling place by moving from that low space and putting yourself in a better place to align yourself with better things. So I don't know. I'm like, do I deserve this? Yes, but I didn't manifest this. Like, I don't know where this came from. Came out of nowhere. And she was like, yeah, so I'm going to send a note to the office that's closest to you to let them know that this needs to be expedited. I said, yeah, there's no expediting this. Expediting this was today. We already missed the mark. She was even sitting there listening when I was telling her how frustrating and how important this is and how it already failed the first time. I didn't tell her that, like, what is in the package because, like, are you kidding me? So I said, yeah, I'm going to have to do this. And she was like, I'm so sorry. She understood because all the other ones that I was talking to, I was like, I feel like, if you've talked to people who don't speak the language, it can be any language, enough that they have limited knowledge of the language. So sometimes they disguise the, not embarrassment, but like the shame of not being able to communicate further than they can by coming across as if they're rude, but they're not rude. It's just that they don't really understand what you're saying. They can only, like robots, answer those questions that they know. Like, I speak a little bit of Georgian from Eastern Europe, near Russia, and if somebody wants to have a conversation with me, I don't really understand everything, but I know how to express myself, because it's for me, right? I'm biased. I know how to express myself. I know to ask for things and whatever. But if they want to have a conversation, I get completely confused. But I tell them, I know how to say vergavige, like I don't understand. And but I've taught English. That's why I went there to teach English. So I've dealt, and somebody, English for me is a second language, maybe even third or 2B. So I've had to learn English from like a certain stage in my life. But I wasn't born speaking English, obviously, that's what it means. So I know like how it works. And I lived in South Africa where we have like 11 official languages, like legit. Thanks to Nelson Mandela. So, and I've lived in different provinces there where people don't, like black people who look like me, spoiler alert, don't necessarily speak my language. I speak Xhosa, they speak Zulu, which is great because they're like kind of like dialects of each other. But there will be times where you get frustrated because you don't know what the word is. You don't know how to express what you want to say, and they don't understand what you're trying to say either. This happened a lot talking to Zulu people. Xhosa people usually, and I'm not saying this to be mean or to say Xhosas are smarter, but usually Xhosas understand Zulus fully, but Zulus don't understand Xhosas fully. So maybe the vocabulary of Xhosas is bigger than that of Zulus. I don't know, dude. But for the most part, we understand each other. So I've lived in so many places where there's like a language situation. And even here, being in California, Southern California, there's a lot of Hispanics, and some people are ashamed to speak English. And personally, I'd be like, just say what you want to say however you want to say it, use whatever little bit of English you know, mix it with Spanish, because you'll be surprised. You know, a lot of languages, like for example, like Spanish is based in Latin or whatever, and sometimes I'm watching an Italian show that's not dubbed, but they do the writing. I'm reading, but I can hear it, and I'm like, well, that was familiar because it sounds like Spanish words that I know, like I'm familiar with, etc., etc. So I'd be like, just express yourself however you can, use hand gestures, use whatever, because in context, somebody who has common sense will be able to put two and two together. It's very rare that you completely do not understand somebody, especially if they're standing right in front of you. I don't care what language they're using, unless, they come out of nowhere and they want to talk about something random. But if you know what I mean? In context, you will understand. Maybe they want directions. Maybe they want a toilet. Maybe you know what I mean? Like, because what deep stuff is somebody going to want to talk to you about who doesn't know you in a language that nobody understands? So I say all this to say, I was like, oh, this lady sounds like she's much more fluent in English. And I think she's much more comfortable because of that. Because I noticed talking to the other ones, they did kind of understand me, but they did also sounded like they didn't really know like enough English to communicate that much. I don't care. My English is not great either. Nor is my Xhosa. I'm forgetting my own language because it's been so long since I spoke it fluently. We already don't speak full 100% Xhosa to each other back in South Africa. Everybody mixes so many languages. In my region, we speak Xhosa and Afrikaans and English. So it's just like, don't talk to me about languages, dude. Like, I know so many and I also forgot so many. So the last person was an absolute doll. And she didn't even really ask for my phone. She literally, I was like, did they put notes? Because she didn't even ask for my phone number. I was like, who is this person? Why is she not annoying? And I said, you know what? I've been talking to you guys. You're like the fourth or fifth person I've talked to talk to, excluding the machine. And you have been great. I'm so glad that you're the last person I'm talking to. Well, until I have to go through the whole thing again after I have to poop in a thing again next time. But I said, thank you. I really appreciate you for everything. She was so calm, so patient. It was unreal. And, they say all's well that ends well. And then you do a podcast about it. Thank you for listening and listening to my rambling period and my tangents. Oh, this was long. That's what she said. Find me at Babalabrook on all social media. My voice not completely back yet. My throat hurts like hell. Just probably yelling at those people and talking here. And it's at Babalabrook everywhere. And I have a YouTube and a blog and all that good stuff. Leave me a review and a rating and a thumbs up and all the things that people do. And let me know what you think. If you've experienced something similar, what are your pet peeves? Because it seems like this is the theme of this podcast, just pet peeves left, right, and center. I hate a lot of things. And really, I'm a sweetheart and I love a lot of things too.